Good morning. Welcome to my final presentation. The final presentation for Capstone Project EDTC 6332 Practicum in Education and Technology. It's not about technology, it's not about tech tools, it's not about tech topics or toys. It's about powerful information and powerful learning, being able to teach others. That's what it is about. What is the terminal or ultimate goal of the project within the time frame of this course? By the end of the semester, my goal was to have a well-rounded project that demonstrated the skills and met the objectives that I had set. I am fortunate to say that I did finish my project and that the learners that did get to take the training, because it was so late in the tax season and employees were not full-time employees anymore at the firm, they did acquire the knowledge stated in the objectives after completing the training within the modules. What I really like is that this training proved to be successful, and I can say that in the future, near future, before the next tax season, I'm going to be adding more modules. That way, all trainees or employees will be trained on how to use the different parts of Simple Tax Services. Simple Tax Services is the software that we use to complete the taxes. Every new employee that is employed at the firm not only has to have knowledge in the accounting procedures and the accounting and the laws, but also they have to have knowledge in how to use the software. Because as you know by experience, when you start using a new software and you're not familiar with it, it's going to take a lot of time. When it comes to any employee in any firm, there has to be an effective and efficient way of using software in order for this firm to be successful. What have you accomplished in your course project? Describe it. The instructional solution I used is a whole instructional unit on Weebly.com, and I used tools such as Screenomatic, YouTube and Voki, and Google Documents to create assessments. My end product is complete, and I'm very happy with the simplicity and the multimedia that I have added. I know that all trainees or all employees that will use this instructional solution module to train will be successful and will gain the skills that I meant to have. As I told you, I used Weebly.com to create a free website that hosted everything. This is my platform, which is Weebly.com. At home, you're going to have the introduction, learn how to prepare taxes like a pro, preparing taxes with today's technology. This is a web-based software that everything is saved in the cloud. If you click here, it will take you to the login page where you will log in using the instructions used in the or portrayed in the instructional solution model. My proposal is found here, which is the initial proposal that I presented to the professor. It is used using Scribd. It is something very unique of Weebly.com, that it has a lot of possibilities. You can add documents, images, videos, and so on. So this is my proposal. The design document is found here by parts. You would have the goal analysis. You go back to the design document. Learner analysis. Everything that was found in the document is found here, part by part. The context analysis, you'll find it here. I followed one of the modules presented, one of the examples that the professor gave us. The subordinate skills analysis, and I also have a flow chart that tells every learner what they're supposed to do, how it's supposed to flow. The entry-level skills required, have the assessment, the performance objectives, instructional strategies, the instructional solution, the formative evaluation, and the summative evaluation. Every single part of this design document can be found here. As you see here, I have my performance objectives, how they're represented in the document. We also have the link to the instructional solution. The instructional solution was divided in 4 modules. Initially, I had planned to have 5 modules, but because of the time constraints and the time that we have in the semester, it wasn't enough time. Here's the Voki. This is a very neat tool that I welcome and recommend for anyone to use. It makes a, let me play it.
Welcome all to the instructional solution for 6332. You will find the links to each of the 4 learning modules above. I hope you enjoy.
So it's telling them to look at the links on above, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. If you want to use your own voice, you can use it. You can type it, you can call it in. Whatever you want the Voki or the avatar, what message to relate, all you do is record it and you continue. So let me go to Module 1. Module 1, every module is it's similar to this one. I have the terminal objectives. I have the activities that will be done. I have a Voki. The Voki relates and tells the learner, and then we have a module assessment. Once it's complete, it tells you that it's complete. You submit it, and there's a way for me to check in Google Documents to see how the learner did, if the learner performed well or not. I decided to use visuals because I know that all learners, from my experience as a teacher, I know that learners have different ways of learning. We have learners that are visual learners, others that are visual auditory learners, some that need both, and some that need to read. So of course, I have another Voki here that tells them what to expect.
Welcome to our first instructional module. You will learn how to log in using your assigned username and password. Do not forget to take quiz before moving on to second module. Thank you and enjoy.
So at the end of the assessment, I have another link. It links it to Module 2, and they continue from there. And again, after they're done with the video and the assessment, they will continue to Module 3. After done with Module 3, they'll continue to Module 4. So that's how my instructional solution looks. And of course, when I gather more data of how the students are doing, how the trainees are doing, I would probably modify my assessment and modify the way that if I need to change anything in the videos for the learners to be more successful. Okay, how does the end product differ from an initial plan? The only thing that I didn't point out in my PowerPoint is that my end instructional solution is not 5 lessons like I plan to do because of time constraint. I know that my end product is adequate and it serves all learning styles. I also have the ability to test if the learner has gained or not the skills that I have in my objectives, because there is an assessment that can be monitored through Google Documents. There's actually like a PowerPoint or something that an Excel document that measures if the learner has answered which one's correctly and which one's wrong. So it gives me a summary of what was or not. I know the modifications can be made because Weebly.com allows, as I said, modifications can be made and I can continue to add content for future use, which are, again, those are my plans, which I will do in the future. Okay, tell the class about rationale for the instructional design by using one of your lessons, modules, units as an example. I have showed you already how my lessons are. My lessons are very simple. They're easy to follow and they're adequate for all learning styles. The instructional guide aids the learner in the steps that need to be accomplished. there is a flow chart that the learner can follow. The videos allow the learner to view and review if necessary. Let's say you go through one of the lessons, but you do not get the steps or you do not get the concept right the first time. You can always go back and play it again. The assessment gives me feedback if there has to be more review. Let's say the instructional designer or the person presenting the lesson sees that the employees or students are not getting the lesson the first time. They can always go back and play it again. What I love about this type of learning is that it's asynchronous and anyone can take their own time. They can decide when, how, and how fast they want to move. It has a very simple display. It's clean, and there's a tab for everything that's very self-explanatory. The modules are numbered. It has the video, it has the Voki, which makes it more personal, and the learner feels welcome. That's just reading. It's more entertaining also, which entertaining is not what our goal is, but we want to keep our learners engaged. And then we have the assessment at the end, which will measure if the skills were gained or not. What lessons have I learned from this course project? The lessons that I learned is time management is essential, and sometimes I try to burden myself with so many things, which is not good, because of course if you're doing something in one and doing another thing in another, you're not gonna do you're not gonna have your full potential to do the best job that you could do. Working with the learners helps create a better instructional solution, which is true because once you know the learner, you know what their needs are, how they learn, and what you need to do in order for them to gain the skills when you're creating the lesson. Alternative plans are always necessary when it comes to technology or any other things, so you need to have that second plan. Another thing is that I have learned from the past classes also is do not attempt to learn new technologies, because if time is a constraint, you're going to be in a predicament where you're going to be trying to learn a technology and trying to create something which is not going to give you a very good end result. Allocate your resources wisely, which is time, anything else which means a resource that you're using to create a lesson. Are there any concerns or issues that may interest the whole class? As an instructional designer, they must know their learner, the subject they're teaching. It's impossible to teach something if you don't know it. There should be input from an expert in order to ensure that the subject is being taught correctly. Timelines can be modified to meet deadlines or can be modified in order to fit your schedule. Be ready for any changes in technology, and like I said before, always have plan B. Thank you very much for watching my final presentation. I hope you all had a great semester, and it is for me, I am happy to say that I am graduating and I'm done with my graduate studies for now. Thank you very much and have a great semester if you plan to come back. Thank you. Bye-bye.